So this week in disc golf, Jennifer Allen not only gets on SportsCenter, but also gets her first win. Eagle finally gets a win on the season, and both Simon and Drew criticize the current state of pro disc golf, and so much more. Welcome, Disc Generates. I'm Swiss Cheese, the one with all the holes in his game. You are watching the Disc Golf World, and we got another episode of This Week in Disc Golf, providing the humor takes on all things disc golf from the past week. This week's episode is brought to you by our members. Thanks for joining the world. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully you enjoy and we can get a like and subscription from you afterwards. And for all those who've made comments, keep them coming. It really pushes us to make the best content that we can make. Let's begin with one of the most iconic courses, Milo McIver and the Beaver State Fling. Start off with Jennifer Allen, who's the loudest of cheer moms and definitely has tried to pawn off store-bought cookies as homemade. Finished day 2 with the hot round of the tournament with a 10 under and went into the final day with a 2-stroke lead with a surging talent in Holland Hanley behind her. Jennifer has seen plenty of the final cards and podium over the decades, but had not won a DGPT event at that point. And she stepped to the tee box of hole 1 with a lead and knowing that she parked the hole the day prior. Jennifer did one better for the absolute dream start, throwing an ace on the 345-foot hole. That line is just pure as they come and kickstarted a 5 under through the first 4 holes, and more importantly, landed herself on SportsCenter. However, Holland Hanley, all hyped up on pre-workout, would not go away, throwing everything she could at her for the entire round. She had 2 Eagle splash-out putts, and not to mention a 50-foot putt to stay within 1 stroke. But holes 16 through 18 in Jennifer Allen were too much, as Jennifer was able to take down her first DGPT event in her career. This tournament was the first time Jennifer averaged over 1,000 rated for an event, even without her making a C2 putt for the entire weekend. That's not impressive enough. She also gained 26 strokes gained from tee to green against the remainder of the field. And the win was that much more emotional for her as she dedicated her season to her mother who passed away earlier this year. Holland was able to take down a second place finish for her second podium of the year. Holland has finished outside the top 10 only twice this season, and with the 42.5 points with the second place finish, she moved 2 spots to the DGPT points, sitting at second place only behind Kristen Tatar. Maria Oliva, a hypo candidate for future cat lady and currently has matching PJs for her and Sampson, rounded out the podium with an 11 under over the weekend. The third place finish was her best finish since her A-tier win at the challenge at Goat Hill Park, and the first podium of the season in a DGPT event. With back-to-back top 10 finishes now, Maria is playing solid golf as of late. There was a battle between 2 MPO heavyweight hitters. Eagle McMahon came into the final day with a stroke lead over last year's winner Garrett Gerthy and 2-stroke lead over both Andrew Presnell and Kelvin Heimberg. Man, you can't tell me that lead card doesn't look like the same dudes at your bar trivia night. Their team name's probably Dunder Mifflin A-Team. Eagle, the leader, is the master of anything anime and animal-related questions. Presnell is the sports guy who's way too into stats. Vinny, the brain, has history, politics, geography, and math on lock. And Gerthy, who uses trivia night as an excuse to drink on Wednesday and can only answer things related to or referenced in Simpsons episodes. Vinny started the final round with the only birdie of the card on hole 1 and established an early battle between he and Eagle, matching each other's scores through the first 5 holes. These two have battled it out 2 times prior this season at LVC and Jonesboro, where Vinny ultimately took both of those events down. However, Eagle began to separate through the middle holes, and even with a Presnell push late, still had the tournament win in his control. And let's be real, anybody who considered anyone besides Eagle for a chance to win probably also lies about throwing 450 feet. Guys, if you guys don't know, Eagle really does not lose when he has a lead in the final round. Eagle ended the day with an 11 under on the final day, cruising to a 3-stroke lead in his first DGPT Silver Series win ever, in his first Silver Series event ever. Milo is obviously a second home to Eagle as he has won this event the last 3 times he's played there. The win came in true Eagle fashion, featuring 600-foot rollers, sky stall anhysers that people can't even hit in their dreams, and huge big putts. Eagle had 0 OB strokes and no bogeys for the entire weekend, add an 80% in C2 regulation and a 94 C1X putting to that, and you get another spectacular Eagle win. All this after finishing 55th place and outside the cash at the OTB Open. And with a relative up and down season thus far, and only 1 win, many haven't realized what Eagle has accomplished thus far this season. He just moved up to 5th place in DGPT points with this win, and has had 2 second place finishes earlier this season, with one of those being a major. I know Vinny and Gannon have been able to put together multiple wins on the season and deserve to be much of the talk on the tour. However, for Eagle to be in the top 5 in points with some absolute dud finishes at a couple of events is impressive. And he is still primed to go on a run to reestablish himself as one of the premier players on tour. He's already the favorite going into the next Silver Series this weekend and has to be the favorite for the Portland Open the following weekend. With the Vinny and Eagle early battle narrative, Presnell, who definitely drowns his pizza with ranch, seemed to be a third wheel on the final day. Shooting a 10 under on the day, he was able to take a share of second place with Vinny and an impressive podium finish, his first at an elite event since 2021. Maybe now he won't be mistaken for Joel Freeman at least 3 times at every tournament. Ricky Wysocki was finally able to return from injury this weekend and took an 11th place finish despite not being in mid-season form. He was solid off the tee for the first 2 days, but did seem to fade in his final round, scoring only 5 down. Even without his putt looking crisp, for his first tournament back, taking an 11th place finish is very solid. I look for Ricky to kind of finish in the top 20 and top 10 for these next couple of weeks and really kind of hit the flow once Portland Open starts. Another young teenager talent broke out onto the scene, shooting the course record 12 under on the final round of the tournament. Carter Aarons, who is 15 and might still be watching the Disney Channel, absolutely went off, hitting putts from distance at a 57% clip from C2 and only missed one C1 putt for the entire tournament. Carter got the course record through the first 14 holes and closed out the final 3 holes with par. That's a 1070 rated round, folks, at age 15. This gave him his highest finish at a dgpt event, which was 5th place. Carter is the youngest player ever to hit 1010 rated, also beat out super throw Dave Wiggins' under 13 distance record, and Carter certainly has an upward trajectory for a promising disc golf future. And though many want to make comparisons to fellow teenager Gannon Buhr, I would just pump the brakes on that narrative. 1 round does not make a Rookie of the Year season. But that being said, Carter does look like he has a very promising career in the game in the future. Simon, with all that MVP contract money, has definitely built a Lego replica of Hogwarts and sat out the Beaver State Fling. But that didn't stop him from shaking up the disc golf community with his bold takes on OB lines, mandos, and drop zones at tournaments. In short, Simon went on to say eliminate OB lines and drop zones from tourneys, add more mandos, including specific shots, and play everything where it lies. And man, it was one of those few times where the community was critical of Simon possibly ever. Tournament directors and fans called out the Disc Golf Golden Boys takes, and look, the problem was this comment was from an Instagram story and could not be supported or defended. Throwing in the fact it can be interpreted how anybody reads it also added difficulty. I, for one, think there's some solid points in this. I love the idea of playing every disc where it lies, and drop zones for manufactured OB or unnatural island holes is a silly concept. I do struggle with forcing specific shots off the tee, though. Would it create a possible better product? Maybe. But you getting to the pin in the shortest amount of strokes should not be dictated by a TD or course designer. Drew Gibson, whose favorite show is Bar Rescue and the rest of the trash on Spike TV, tweeted just facts comparing the payouts for Beaver State Fling in 2013 versus that of 2023, which wasn't the best look and got absolutely roasted for the take. As a player, questioning payout structure and where the money goes is fair. However, comparing 2013 Beaver State Fling, a national tour event, mind you, versus a 2023 Silver Series event isn't a fair or proper comparison. And many fans, and including pros, Ella Hansen specifically, made it known. Some other quick-hitting notes. Valerie Mondahano announced her scheduled return from injury will be the Dynamic Disc Open, which, mind you, is still a full 3 weeks away. Ricky had to take a dip and made us all laugh as he lost a bet to Chandler Fry. Chandler Fry's magical throw-in on hole 18 caused Ricky to go into the water, full clothes and all. James Proctor gets a win in Sweden while his travel companion Eric Oakley took second. KJ has changed his grip on his backhand to gain more control of the disc. Ella Hansen releases a Spotify list of all the songs that play in her head while on the course. And not only am I concerned with the amount of show tunes on this list, but I also can't get the damn earworm song of The Lion Sleeps Tonight out of my head. A wee mo-wit, a wee mo-wit, a wee mo-wit, a wee mo-wit. It's brutal, I know, but imagine me. And other shocking news, a 1 of 20 autographed Gannon Buhr dgpt card recently sold for $700. I know disc golf is blown up, but damn, that's a chunk of change. Whoever bought this, hit me up for some investment pitches I have. With the Cascade Challenge, this weekend we have another Silver Series event in the Cascade Challenge. In the FPO, we have a shortened field with Paige Pierce, Kristen Tarr, Katrina Allen, Jennifer Allen, Sarah Holcomb, and Owen Scoggins all planning on missing the tournament. In the MPO, it's difficult not to go with Eagle McMahon at this point in time after the last tournament, but I do also like Gannon Burr. And don't be surprised if we get a European with a high finish in Vanu Makala or Nicholas Antula. And that, guys, wraps up another This Week in Disc Golf. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Check out all the other content we are pumping out. And if this is your first time and you want more, check out the previous week's episodes.